Hey guys, it's me, Missy with Rusty Acrylics, and in this video I'm going to show you April's Decoupage of the Month papers. So this is the first one, and it's got the 3 images on it and then that cute little fairy. It's very whimsical. This is another one, and then it has just a regular mushroom right there. These colors are very vibrant, very pretty. Here's another one. This image is upside down, so it goes like that. And then you can use that one. And then these are like the vintage mushrooms, which I think these are really cute. So it's all mushroom themed, and another one, and they're just all layered on there. A lot of fun. So I'm excited. I'm going to use 2 of these in this video, and you should get yours in the mail soon if you're signed up. Okay, so for this block, I already have it pre-stained, and then I just have a coat of drop cloth on it, and then I really like how the music notes look behind everything. So I'm just going to use another sheet of music paper and put it as my background, if I can line it up right. So we're just making a little block sitter is what we're gonna start out with these papers, because they're just so cute and I think they're fun. So we'll just cut this to where we need it. And then if we have excess hanging off, it's not a big deal because we can just sand that off with some sandpaper. But what I'm wanting to do is just give a background. Kind of just gonna layer these on here. So there's my music notes. We're just gonna use some Mod Podge, and we're going to attach this paper to my block sitter. For this paper, I really didn't need a white background, but it never hurts. And this one was already pre-done, so we're just gonna work with what we already have and just put a thin layer of Mod Podge on. And then we're gonna line this up and put that back on there. So I'm just going to take a piece of parchment paper, lay it on top, and I'm just going to use my little Cricut heat iron and mini press iron and just make sure that it's all the way on, and that keeps it from wrinkling up and being smooth. It keeps it smooth. But then I'm going to take my napkin that I have turned into like a faux rice paper, and we're going to layer it on top of that. So I'm just going to use my scissors to cut that block out, and I'm just going to crease it down so I can see where to cut it. And I'm going to cut my napkin out. So you can do this 2 ways. You can either put your Mod Podge on and iron on your napkin, or you can just do it the old school way and just Mod Podge it on. But I'm wanting to put the mushroom on top of everything. So let's get this on and see if we want to just leave it or if we want to iron it. Making sure to cover the whole block with the Mod Podge so that the napkin can adhere to this music sheet. And we'll put that on there. Make sure it's, yeah, because this is excess that I'll have to sand off, so I'm not too much worried about that. If there's too much, If you overcut, it's no big deal. So now that makes our music sheet look nice and old. And I think for this piece, I'm just going to leave it like it is. I'm not going to use the iron. And then I'm going to apply my mushroom on top. And I think this is the one that we're going to use. So I'm going to just tear it out. And you can either use the water to make it easier to tear, or for this project, I'm just going to pinch it because it is really easy to pinch and tear this way. I'm just tearing along the outside of the mushroom, giving it a nice soft edge so that way it just is more faded into what we got going on as the background, instead of having any kind of hard lines or anything like that. So we got that out. So we can just tear it a little bit more where we want it to be. Make sure that's how we like it. And then what I'm going to do is just take this Mod Podge and I'm just going to apply it to the back of my decoupage paper. So that way I can just attach it to the center of that block without having to cover the whole entire napkin and reactivating all of that Mod Podge from the other layers and causing it to move or wrinkle or anything like that. So we're just going to apply a little bit to the back of this, making sure to get all of the edges. And then we'll gently lift it up, figure out where I want it on my block. And then we'll just gently pat it down. And then we can use just a little bit more Mod Podge on the top of it to just seal this up and make sure that it's all the way glued down. Making sure that you pay attention to your edges and stuff like that. Don't overwork your Mod Podge. I put a little bit too much there, but we'll just spread it. And now we have a little mushroom block sitter. So on this little scrap piece of wood, we're gonna make another little block sitter that will go with our other mushroom, but we're gonna do this one a little bit different. I'm gonna use one of my stamps. I'm just gonna spread some paint on a piece of scrap wood, and I'm just gonna use one of my IOD stamps. And we're gonna stamp it as the background of that. So I just spread some paint, place my stamp on top of the paint so that way it can pick up the paint, and then we're gonna just apply it to our little scrap piece of wood and just press firmly and let that paint go onto that. And then we have that as a little background. And then we're gonna let that dry, but while we're doing that, we're just gonna go ahead and tear this mushroom out. So this is the one I wanna use. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the sides of it all the way off so that way it's just softer around the edges. And so that stamp will kind of show through a little bit through my background. We're just going to let this dry for a few more seconds. Okay, so my block is dry and we're just going to add some Mod Podge. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of coat the whole entire thing because that's going to seal up all of my chalk paint. And that way I don't have to worry about a different color of sheen or anything like that. So it's just easier for this one if we just cover the whole entire back of the block. And then we can place our mushroom where we want it. And gently put it down. And I do have a little excess down here, but that's not a big deal because I'll just sand that off with a little piece of sandpaper. And then we'll go ahead and add a coat of Mod Podge to the top of this and make sure that all of my edges are nice and smooth and glued down. Now that it's all dry, I'm going to finish this off. I'm just going to take the edge of my paintbrush that I was using with the brown paint, and I'm just going to go around the edges just to give it a little bit more of a like distressed look, just to tie it all in together. And then that's our little block sitter. All right, guys, so these are our block sitters that we made with the decoupage paper that's coming out in April. If you're interested in joining our Decoupage of the Month Club, you can check in the link in the description below. There'll be a link for that. And I can't wait to see what y'all do with these. We'll see you guys next time.